Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, the RANS S-20LS is now SLSA certified. Avidyne now connects with ForeFlight. A safety bulletin is issued for Continental engine maintenance. I'm Bree Cross. It's March 18th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. We at ANN first had a good look at the RANS S-20 Raven in 2014 while at the Light Sport Expo in Sebring, Florida, and we liked what we saw. At that time, it was being offered in a kit-built format. RANS has now announced they have received Special Light Sport certification. Special Light Sport certification means that the aircraft is being produced in accordance with industry-established standards as approved by the FAA and is available as a factory-built airplane. According to RANS, the standard factory-built aircraft with a Rotax 912 100-horsepower engine and basic VFR instruments will start in the price range of $119,000. Certified as a light sport aircraft, it meets the requirements to be operated by a sport pilot or any pilot operating under sport pilot privileges. The S-20LS Raven is reported to have a payload of about 580 pounds, a cruise speed of 112 miles per hour, and a range of about 580 miles. Avidyne Corporation and ForeFlight have announced that the Avidyne IFD540 and IFD440 systems can now interface to ForeFlight via wireless connectivity. According to Avidyne, this connectivity opens up many possibilities for transferring and displaying of data in the cockpit, including mapping, flight planning, and display of NTSB weather and traffic. ForeFlight says they expect to have expanded capabilities in the future. Avidyne says these features will operate on their IFD540-440 units, running the current version 10.1 software. Additional capabilities will be added in an upcoming IFD version 10.2 software release. Avidyne also says they have made available a wireless connectivity software developer kit and are in talks with other app developers. They expect more announcements for Bluetooth, Wi-Fi enablements, and services for the IFD540-440 will be forthcoming. After the break, the FAA warns of improper engine assembly.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. The FAA has issued a special airworthiness information bulletin for Continental engines prompted by multiple reports of engine failure related to the improper and unauthorized use of certain sealants during engine case half assembly and/or cylinder installation. According to the bulletin, these sealants may be commonly referred to as RTV sealant, RTV adhesive, or gasket maker. These sealants are not approved for installations on CMI engines listed in Continental service documents. The bulletin addresses the issue of achieving proper crankcase bolt preloads and avoiding what is referred to as a soft joint. These issues cannot be addressed properly if an unapproved sealant is used. It also addresses the issue of applying sealant to certain joint surfaces for which a sealant is not specified. The bulletin says it is vital that maintenance technicians refer to the manufacturer and model-specific maintenance and overhaul manuals and service instructions for approved materials and procedures. It's Friday, and that means that it's time for ANN CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell to check in with his weekly Barnstorming commentary. When it comes to an emergency situation in an airplane, one of the most important things a pilot can have is altitude. However, when it comes to changing the outlook for the Aeroverse, Jim says the most important thing is attitude, attitude, attitude. Here is this week's Barnstorming.
Thanks, Bree, and hi, folks. Well, one of the memes that I remember from my flight instructing days was there's the three most important things in aviation were attitude, attitude, and attitude. And in this day and age, I can't think of anything that's quite as true. We need a massive attitude shift. And let's talk about this briefly because there's so many individual, unique, concrete ideas, whether it be lowering the cost of aviation or innovating new technologies or easing the regulatory burden and a number of other things that we're actually going to be doing some surveying on here pretty quick. But what it really comes down to is that there has to be a collective attitude change in aviation. The folks that are running around saying, well, we can do this incrementally and things will return when we do this and that. Folks, nothing's returning. The aviation that we knew is not functional and not achievable based on the simple fact that the world around us has changed so remarkably and so inexorably. It's not a situation of wanting it enough or anything else. It's just simply that it's a different world out there. Everything that we are doing now is a function of the world around us, and the world is changing at a breathtaking pace. The plain fact of the matter, very simply, is this. The phrase, "that's the way we've always done it," has been enemy number one of the sport, general, and business aviation, as well as commercial aviation communities for as long as I can recall. The new phrase right now is, let's try this. Let's innovate this. Let's look to a new future, and let's be accepting of the fact that there are a number of unique, unusual solutions that may present themselves, and we need to work our way to that. I know this sounds kind of nebulous, and it's not concrete like, oh, let's build a $50,000 172 or anything like that. But as soon as this industry realizes that its fortunes rely on a collective attitude shift, and as soon as we as a community build this collective Aeroverse and work toward this bright new future, we're not only going to have an aviation that can sustain itself, we're going to have an aviation that will grow, prosper, be exciting, be interesting, be innovative, be involving, and frankly, be a lot more fun. And who wouldn't want that? So, seriously, change your attitude. We're going to change ours. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne, and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell.
After these messages, the NBAA supports the Santa Monica Airport again.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Sandia introduces the new SAI-340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. The NBAA has reasserted its long-standing support for California's Santa Monica Municipal Airport. Arguments are ongoing on an appeal of a court ruling denying the city's interpretation of the terms of transferring ownership of the airport from the U.S. government to Santa Monica. The NTSB has issued its report on the aircraft accident at EAA AirVenture 2015. They reported the pilot received a modified landing clearance and failed to maintain adequate airspeed while maneuvering to land, which resulted in an accelerated stall. No fatalities occurred. More than 100 activities, twice as many as in 2015, unfolded across the world during the 6th annual Women of Aviation Worldwide Week. This event for girls of any age was founded by the Institute for Women of Aviation Worldwide. FAA Administrator Michael Huerta and Sally French, the drone girl, led a lively panel discussion Monday about the future of small unmanned aircraft at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. The panel included a diverse group from industry and government. Jonna Phillip, the former director of the Sebring Sport Aviation Expo, has joined the staff of the DeLand, Florida Municipal Airport as its new Sport Aviation Administrator. Airport management is taking action to promote and develop recreational aviation at the airport. Well, that's the trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. Red Bull Air Race opened their racing season last weekend in Abu Dhabi. It's reported the first race of 2016 Red Bull Air Race World Championship was even hotter than expected in sizzling Abu Dhabi as France's Nicolas Ivanhoff blazed through the pylons to victory in a close and frequently astonishing competition. Ivanhoff's time was barely a tenth of a second faster than Matthias Doldier of Germany in second place. Francois Lavat of France, who is beginning only his second season, captured his first career podium for third place. According to the Red Bull website, the day was packed with shocks as Matt Hall of Australia hit a pylon and failed to advance beyond the opening round. Another top favorite, Hans Arch, was disqualified in the final four for passing the safety line. The next race is scheduled in Spielberg, Austria, April 23rd and 24th. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us in a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday.